this entire universe together. You are dreamers. You are magnificent dreamers. But in a sense, we are like little children with a gun. We've got a very powerful weapon, but with no sense of how it works. So we just pow, 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 and people fall dead all around us, and we wonder why. It is a dream. If you look too closely at the parts of a dream, you will never recognize the dreamer. To recognize the dreamer is to awaken. To awaken, you are mesmerized by the dream. You are dreaming it, and yet you are mesmerized by it. What must happen is you must recognize the dreamer. It is a dream of mine. It is a projection of that which is in me. But if we call it bad, we don't want to admit that we have that characteristic. So we will not admit it. Therefore, we cannot recognize the dreamer. I've told you the story over and over. In the beginning, the great God, she slept. A flicker, a movement, a recognition. The recognition was not just of that flicker, of that movement, but the first words spoken by the great God were, I am. The recognition of both the dream and the dreamer. See, it's not just a nice little story. It is the truth. It is that which must be recognized because it is the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth. At all levels. No matter which level of which perspective you see things from, if you see things, they are a dream, and you are the dreamer. You can never ever arrive today by focusing on the dream characters. Because if you will notice when you dream, I've told you that the secret to the great mystic powers and all that is in the dream. Just as you lay down and sleep and dream, it is the same thing. I've said this, so you must pull this together. When you dream, if you begin to study and focus on that dream, and as you have thought about that dream, the next thing is created, and on, and on, and on, and on. So the act of creation goes on, and on, and on. Therefore, the closer you study the dream character, the further you get from the dreamer. An awakening can never happen. Because the awakening is to understand the dreamer. I have said, each thing is the living God peering through the eyes of that individual, whether it be grass, whether it be tree, whether it be man, be woman, be dog, be cat, whatever that be's. Then how can one awaken to the recognition of one's own godliness if we keep getting further and further away by dealing with the dream character and creating another and another and another and another, and pretty soon I'm so damn farsighted I can't see what's right before my eyes. Myself, the great dreamer. I am God. Peering from behind these eyes, wrapped in this thought form, as your dream characters are wrapped in their thought form. I have said, it is absolutely important that you write down your dreams. I'm not going to ask the question, how many do it? I'm not going to even ask. But see, we're on the trip. But shh, don't tell anybody. I won't ask the question. I've said, how do you interpret the dream? We want events. I've said, what is your feeling about this character? It is a thought form wrapped in the clothing of flesh. So it is a thought form, that dream character. So to interpret what this character means, what do I feel about it? What do I think about it? How do I react to it? That tells me who the character is. Big, mean, ugly dude with axe chasing me. What is it? Fear. That is all. See, it's not complicated. We want to get complicated. I've said, it's simple. It is simple. Don't make it complicated. I've said, write down the events of your day. Interpret it just as you would the dream. And I just told you how to do that. Because this is a dream. In order to understand the dreamer, one must start relating to the dreamer and not the dreamed. How do you do that? What does this mean to me? It tells me about something I think. I will go back to the story of the priest telling the story of a little boy about a salamander who fell into the fire and was burned. And the little boy said, "Was the salamander ugly?" And the priest said, "I do not know, not being the salamander." In other words, the salamander dreams its own dream. I dream my dream. I cannot define whether the salamander is ugly. Only the salamander can determine if it is ugly. I am busy dreaming my own dream. I cannot dream your dream for you. All of creation is a dream. You have become so caught in the dreamed, you forget the dreamer. And that is what it is all about, the dreamer. Without the dreamer, where is the dream? There is no dream. Someone was concerned that several people, as a matter of fact, were concerned that our time to be together may not be long enough for their arrival. You have all you need. What we need is diligent work. That's what we need. You see, I remind you this day of something that I've said 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. I said, I don't want to know who is not doing this. That's not relevant. I merely said it to point out, are you working? Are you truly? You see, my statement back earlier was the desire to know. Are we truly exercising our desire to know? Because guidance is saying, all right, here's where it is. Now, if you really want to know, you will do this and you will do this in this manner. And wait. And just wait. Don't force, don't rush. It will come before you know it. It will come before you know it. But in the act of doing, the creation unfolds. See, it is not something that's difficult, in itself to achieve. It's not. It's simple. The problem is we make it difficult because we start, I say to you, that's not the way. Just doesn't work like that. Our frustration sets in. I say, I've already told you what the original sin is. Why are you getting frustrated? You're getting frustrated because you're judging it. You're getting angry and upset because you're judging it. I've already told you, can't do that. You can't do that either. Because that won't let you in. You see, I'm trying to narrow it down and say to you, do this, be alert, let your consciousness expand. Pain, quite often, tells you that your consciousness is not expanded. That's what it tells you. I want. Well, there's a greater lesson. And the greater lesson is simply to say, this above all, knowledge. Above all. You may not understand that now. Because there are certain things that are selfish to yourself. You know. That you prize above all other things. Well, you cannot prize it above knowledge, because you cannot have it above knowledge. It requires knowledge to have it, to truly have it. It is all that is of value in this universe. Knowledge, for knowledge's sake. Doesn't mean that we can't have the illusion of other things. Does not mean that you cannot dream the Mercedes. Hey, dream the Mercedes and pretend you're riding in it all up and down the world. I don't care. Dream yourself a corporate jet. Jet all over the world. It's okay, as long as you know that it is the dream. It does not become more important than your knowledge. When your pain rises, it tells you, here is the truth. Here's where you are. Pow. Now something's going to give. The truth doesn't give. It just keeps right on rolling. And you have pain because you're getting rawhide. because there's friction between the truth and your limitation. That is when we stand too close to the dream. To awaken. To awaken is to know that you are dreaming. At some point in your life, I imagine that you all have had the recognition, I'm dreaming. When you were asleep and something's happening, you say, oh, it's a dream. Wow. That's exactly what I mean. You must be able to do that consistently in your sleep. You must also have that same recognition here, now. But the only way that you have that recognition is by bringing that recognition to you by beginning to study it as dream characters in their relationship to the dream. To the dream. Now, I'm not talking about my dream. When I point to me, when I do this, you do this. You don't do that, you do this. To the dreamer. You see, you are a part of my dream. You are a part of my dream. You are a part of my dream. You all are a part of my dream. You are my dream characters. Yet you stand alone. You only show that portion of yourself to me that is within my dream. That is why I say to you, I see you more clearly than you do, because it is my dream to see you clearly. It is my dream to dream you as you are, not as I would have you be. Therefore, in my dream, I see that you are already holy. I see that you are already complete. It's just in your dream, you don't see it. That is all. See, it's simple. I choose to dream the dream clearly. I choose to dream the dream without selfishness. I have no ulterior motive other than the joy of dreaming. Other than the joy of dreaming. I watch. Well, someone asked the question, Anand, there are also other awakened ones on this planet. I say, to a degree. And they participate in the society to the degree of those who have a common dream can participate. If you will notice, they will tell you X, Y, and Z. They will tell you, the yogi will tell you it's in the breath. I will tell you that is not so. It's in the consciousness. Consciousness precedes breath. How then can breath be the vehicle? It is consciousness. Breath is created by consciousness. Without breath, consciousness still is. Consciousness does not need to breathe. It has no body. Why does it need to breathe? Is it not still conscious? It's not breathing. Only the body needs to breathe. Yoga is good for the body, But let us not misunderstand. Tai Chi, good for the body. Let us not misunderstand. I am a bottom line person. Therefore, only those who are approaching from time before, only those who are approaching that will be close to me because I am an absolute truth, cloaked in this. You have chosen somewhere in your dream to know. You have wanted in the depth of your heart to know that which is true. So, the dreamer has dreamed the dream. Because the dreamer arrived at the absoluteness of truth and dreamed truth. And dreamed that there would be others who dreamed the desire to know that which is truth. Therefore, the dreamers, we have all come together to dream a like dream. Therefore, my group is small. But the effects of what happened 3 months ago in the dreams of all men across the world created a possibility for all. Says, well, they will never know your name. That's a personal thing. I didn't come into this world to have my name known, but to perform a task. It is not that I perform the task, it is that the task be performed.
They know your name, they're going to screw it up anyway.
Yes. It is a new age, it is a new time. You see, before, quote, religion had to be born and men had to be controlled because they were very savage. And many today still are quite savage. But it is at this time that they must begin to come to truth and self-responsibility. They needed to be kept in line by a God that would punish them if they didn't act right. It was the only thing that would keep them in line. Was somebody big and powerful that, right.
Do it or else and...
It is back to my analogy of the child with the gun. So Big Daddy had to be created. Big Daddy will get you if you don't act right. That time is over. It is the time of self-responsibility and responsibility for one's own dream. It is that time. So now, the name of one who made the crack in the door is irrelevant. It is only relevant to those who sit here in this room. It is only relevant to those who sit in that room in New York or New Jersey with me. Because you are the ones who approach the absolute. Because of your work in time after time after time after time. It's just your reward. That's all. It's no big deal. It does not make you an elite. It makes you dreamers, that's all. Dreamers who desire to know that which is true. That's all. Does not make you better or worse than other men. we talk about self-actualization. It does not make us better or worse. It just makes us actualized, and others with potential to be actualized, if they but recognize the dreamer. We have recognized half of the equation, the dream. Now let us recognize the dreamer. You see, all is good, all is positive. That thing that you argue and that you fight about is good. If you but not look at the thing, but recognize the thing as a reflection of the dreamer, it tells you about the dreamer. And what the dreamer must do. If you don't like what you see, you must change the dream, not the dreamed, because you have no power to change the dreamed unless you change it from the point of view of the dreamer. That's the only way you can change it, is from the source. You cannot change it out here. It is like you go to a movie and you watch the movie and you sit there and you try to change the outcome of the movie by shouting at the characters. That is what you're doing. You're shouting at the characters on a movie screen. But the projector is here. If you wish to change what you see on the screen, you must change the real. Once you change the real, the dream is now different. You see my point? This may seem very weird and very strange. But what you must do is trust and do as you have been instructed. You say, I don't know, just something inside of me just doesn't let me do my technique. I say to you, do it anyway. Because that which is inside of you is just, that doesn't want you to change it, is just your habitual behavior toward not knowing, not wanting to know, wanting to think that you are already correct. Well, you're correct in your being, but you are causing yourself much frustration and pain and anger. But when you have caused yourself enough frustration and pain and anger, you'll stop. You may think in certain senses, I am very difficult to get along with. That is true. I am very, very difficult to get along with. Because I won't acquiesce. I'll say, you have the right to be ignorant, but I have the right to get you the fuck out of my life. I have the right to say, no, I'm sorry. That is not what I have done. I'm sorry. I dream my own dream. And how dare you? You think I will bullshit you about my dream? It's my dream. I can dream any damn thing I want, and this is what I choose. Go away. I'm difficult. If people do not recognize my dream is about truth. My mission is about truth and about the presentation of that truth. That is my mission. That is my dream. That is the dream actualized. I have the right. As you have the right. If you do not like my dream, get out of my dream. You have the power, you see. So in that sense, I am difficult. It is at this point I sit and I watched. In general, I don't offer an awful lot of advice. I just watch because the advice has been given. It's there. Now you must exercise and recognize. I feel I sound like Jesse Jackson. You must emphasize and recognize. Exercise the techniques. The techniques are designed to put your eyes in a certain place. Then you must recognize what you see. But quite often we want to recognize one half. We don't want to recognize wholes. We only want to recognize halves. Very simple thing is, well, it's blah blah and blah blah and blah blah and blah blah, and I have to say, what about the other half? See? Well, I should not have to say that. Everybody wants to be the hero of their story. Everybody wants to be right and everybody else wrong. It's not a matter of right and wrong. It's a matter of they're just where they are. You must be able to see the humanity of all people. But you will only want to see a certain part of their personality. You're blind simply because you do not want to recognize that part of their personality in yourself. Because you are the dreamer, you are the one dreaming it. I tell you the absolute truth, and I don't care how you want to justify what you think about what I've said, how you want to, it is absolutely irrelevant. I'm saying to you, the sun is shining. Yeah, but on a cloudy day, the sun is shining. Behind the cloud, the sun still shines. That's all I'm saying. The sun is shining. Fire is hot. Water is wet. That's all I'm saying. It is up to each individual to take the absoluteness of that statement and recognize the truth. I tell you, very simply, there are many people in this life that you do not like. Truth be known, you suck. You're not doing what you should be doing. You see, you couldn't dislike them if you recognized them in you. You have projected them to come into your life because to show you yourself. But you keep looking like this. Yeah, what so and so. No one can do anything for you. You are permanently sick. Why? Because you've been told what the truth is. And if you don't recognize it, that's up to you. See, no one can do that. You want to dream the truth, so you keep dreaming the truth and denying the truth, and you have great pain. People contain many, many faces. That is what it means to be holy, is to accept the totality of the faces that you have. To be whole is to accept the totality of your faces. But see, we still want to get into everybody else, and we forget we are dreaming them. the sun is shining. That's the bottom line. What can I tell you? All I can say to you is the sun is shining. It's the truth. You know, when you don't want to accept that truth, it's nothing but egoism. That's all it is. That's all it is. When you want to explain to me other than that, you're on an ego trip, and that's part of your problem. That's why you can't recognize the dreamer, because you're ego tripping. So now I watch. I don't have much to say about it. It doesn't matter what I say. I've said it all. See, you don't have to worry. If I die tomorrow, you got it all. You say, what am I going to do? If you make that an honest question, you know what to do because you've been told. It's been laid out step by step, inch by inch. You know what to do. The point is, do it. See, that means giving up a lot. Doesn't mean giving up one thing out here. It means giving up all this in here that is not true. Simply because you want it to be true. Simply because you want to dislike somebody. Well, what you dislike is that thing in yourself. I tell you the truth. I tell you absolutely the truth. I've stood where you stand. I know. I know what it's like. But I also know that I had to say, whoa, this is me. And until I said, this is me. Yes. Yes. Yes to all of it. Did I become free? There's a price. There's a toll gate. You have to pay the price to enter. And the price is, you want to come to truth. You have to give up the lie. It's that simple. You have to give up lying to yourself about how righteous you are. You have to give up using your righteousness to defend you against others. Because when they tell you the truth sometime, you better admit it. To yourself. You got to say. Because it's all about the recognition of the dreamer. That's what it's about. The dream is only a projection of the dreamer. That's all. That's all it is. You want to fix something? You got to fix the dreamer. The dream will be fine if you fix the dreamer. We're so afraid of failing that we fail. We don't even try. It's life. Risk nothing, you get nothing. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I think back to the man Jesus and his 12 disciples, 14 followers. With his mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. Joseph was off somewhere building temples, I guess. He didn't sure hang around too much. He was off talking about his boy Jesus. Well, one of his disciples was a politician. So he chose to write and speak of Jesus as a politician. one a philosopher, so he chose to write and speak of Jesus as a philosopher. The point of this is that they dreamed in a certain way. Therefore, they projected their dream upon that which was whole, that which was complete, and neither saw the completeness of that which was in front of them because of their dream. You may say, well, what is wrong with them having their dream? There's nothing wrong with having your dream. It is only when your dream blinds you to the truth. Because what is it that you are after? You are after the truth. So if your dream blinds you to that truth, then your dream must go. It is part of what must be sacrificed so that consciousness expands. To certain of the rabbis and the priests, he was a threat. He was not this man who told the truth. He was a threat to their position of power, their position of money. They wore fine robes, and they had people coming every day and bringing food and gifts and offerings, and they say, hey, I think I like it. So he was viewed as a threat. He was viewed by Rome as the king of the Jews, and everyone knew there could be no one except Caesar. So everyone, because they had their little dream, viewed him differently. Those who hurt and who suffered viewed him as the Messiah, because in their dream it was to dream the Messiah. It was to dream that someone would come and deliver me from my suffering and from my pain. This was their dream. Therefore, to him, he was the Messiah. Who was right? None. He was but a man who dreamed the dream of truth and simply passed through and said, here. Said, be ye the Son of God? Yes, I am the Son of God. That makes you special? No. Not that I am the Son of God and you are not. Does not make me special. I have simply actualized my godliness. You simply have potential. Does not make us better or worse. I said, well, we know what you are. Kill him. See, you can't. The dream blinds you to the truth. It is all right to dream, but know that it is only a dream. But you do that, you must know the truth about the dreamer. You must know the truth about the dreamer. And that the dream is only a matter of thought that takes flesh to cloak the essence of thought. Look. Those who come into the world as white-skinned came into the world with the thought that to be clean of everything would be the antithesis of purity. Those who came into the world with black skins at the other end thought that to encompass or bring everything into was the antithesis. Look in the middle at the Indian and the Chinese who talk about the Tao and walking the middle road. They are red or yellow skinned in between, you see. We are but thoughts cloaked in flesh. These things tell us what the thoughts are. You see? Who is right? None are right, and all are right. The beauty of the paradox. It cannot be understood in such rigid terms. can only be understood in terms of the law. The white skin does what? To light. Reflects. What does the dark skin do? Absorbs it. All of the spectrum. Says it's all right. None of it's right. Guy in the middle says, who's kind of brown, says, well, give me some of it, and some of it I'll reflect, and some of it I'll keep. They are each a thought in the mind of God, cloaked in flesh as it relates to their thoughts. Some says, well, in combination with that, to be absolutely aggressive in life is right. And they come as males. Some say it is to be passive and to be nurturing in life. They come as females. You are thought, cloaked in form. This is how you must begin to interpret the dream of life. If you cannot get away from blaming that person and disliking that person, hell is yours. Welcome to it. It's all yours. Yes.
You know, when you talk about the many faces that we have and the many facets of each of us as individuals, to me that's like one of the big reasons the public couldn't accept the last temptation of Christ, because it showed a human being with more faces, more personality than they were willing to accept.
Yes, we want him scrubbed clean.
Right. We only want this little one or two faces.
Is clean correct? No. No, afraid not. Is dirty correct? No. Just human. Just human is correct. But we don't want to accept that because we're based on the old Bible, the old tool of the vindictive God, because that's the only way we can be controlled. We know what's inside of us. If you take that away, you take away that God with that big stick, boy, we'll just act a fool. It's true. It's absolutely true. They're like bad little kids that you need a club to control. But those of us who understand know that no, I do not control myself out of fear. I do not control myself out of guilt. I am intelligent. There are things I don't do because they will tend toward destruction. I'm intelligent. I don't have to be afraid. You see? So it's not guilt. I do not do that which is correct because I feel guilty or that I'm afraid. I do it because it's correct. You've heard me say, I do what I do because of me, not because of you. What, are you crazy? Are you nuts? Do because of you? No, you better do because of you. I do it because I know it's right. That's enough. That is enough. I don't care what you think, because I see your dream. And I see the weirdness of the dream. So, I say, but you will be alone. I say, but I am alone. So, let's move on. You expect me to stop because I'm alone? What are you, nuts? You stop because you find out you're alone and you become a very miserable person. Oh, I'm alone. Well, too bad. You can never afford that. You recognize that you dream your dream alone and you dream it collectively with others. When you recognize that you dream it alone, you must take responsibility and you must be happy for the responsibility. And then you have added independence and freedom to the collective dream of mankind. And you have begun to throw the balance in a different direction. So yes, you are absolutely responsible. What is happening in this world now and what will happen for the next 20 or 30 years, the end result will be based upon which way the dreamers dream. Namaste.